Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to a little bit more Duke mod madness. I got the ball rolling last week with Duke forces, and I figured I might as well keep the momentum going. So, against my better judgment, I dove headfirst into another highly recommended Duke Nukem 3D mod called the AMC TC. What does AMC stand for? I'm reasonably sure it stands for Allied Military Complex. TC stands for Total Conversion, much like it does for anything with TC at the end of it in a Doom-based modding context. And ultimately, it describes the AMC team, which form the core of this particular mod. A collection of misfit characters brought together from all over the world to protect the planet in the absence of Duke Nukem, who, spoilers, in this context, is dead. You could essentially consider them the Avengers, but as assembled by a coked out of his mind Nick Fury who doesn't really give much of a shit as long as they're pointed in the general direction of an Earth-threatening menace. So to begin with, the AMC team consists of 8 rather interesting individuals, and I say to begin with because once you reach episode 2 and then further along the line episode 3, that roster actually, I believe, expands to 10, but for the sake of brevity, for the sake of my sanity, for the sake of getting this video edited within the week, I'm going to be focusing chiefly on episode 1 here. So for this opening mission, I decided to pick Highwire. It wasn't my initial choice. My first pick was the first guy on the roster, a guy called James, British Secret Service agent type, the coked up Nick Fury in question, come to think of it. And that was a poor choice, because the characters here do play differently. The loadouts will give you advantages and disadvantages depending on the situation, the type of enemies that you're going to be going up against. And if you're hoping to ease yourself in to AMC, I certainly wouldn't recommend James as a starter pick. I would, in fact, recommend Highwire. Highwire is essentially your stereotypical Russian Guyevich character, but as a consequence of this, you should also expect his loadout to be similarly Russia-inflected too. But the thing that makes Highwire more, let's say, forgiving than the James class to use is that his weaponry seems to be much more effective. Enemies certainly go down quicker in comparison, and you also run out of bullets at a much reduced rate too. I found myself being caught quite off guard with the James character, running out of bullets and having to resort to fists and the occasional mighty foot. Not a great combination to be dealing with when you've got to face down pig cops with high-powered shotguns. No, don't worry, you haven't crossed over to a completely different mod by accident. This is still the same mod, this is still the AMC TC. It's just that now, you get a better idea of how drastically things can change between characters and levels. This character here is called Sang, and Sang is a warlock. Now typically, warlocks are not good guys, but through some convoluted method, he managed to sever the evil part of himself from this part of himself, and now he's got a weird doppelganger raising hell in Egypt somewhere, while he has been left with a bat constantly circling around his head. But as you've probably noticed, being a warlock does not restrict Sang to magic and magic only. There is scope here for a bit of ballistic-based bloodshed, be it through the Uzi, that is part of his specific loadout, or the assault rifle, which you can pick up from the corpses of certain enemies. The assault rifle itself forms a kind of shared pool of weapons that all classes can utilize. You can only have one of them at a time, but you're free to ditch what you're currently wielding for something that may seem, let's say, a bit more suitable for the present situation. And that roster of weapons is fairly varied too, from the already seen assault rifle to the super shotgun, rocket launchers, chain guns, energy weapons. Pretty sure there's a crossbow in there somewhere as well. And you'll find that in some cases these can be unique to the level itself. I don't actually recall seeing this chain gun outside of this level. Now, it's entirely possible that it'll turn up at a later stage. I've only really made it as far as episode 2, so that's very much a possibility. The other possibility is that I could acquire a schematic or research for it and actually tell my scientists back at HQ to research and manufacture it for me, meaning that I could designate it as a custom loadout, and bring it with me on new missions. Did I mention there's a HQ in this? Did I mention the research yet? Oh boy. So, believe it or not, the HQ here is actually the first level that you'll see when you start up AMC. It is your central hub for everything. You can change your character class here, you can test fire a whole bunch of weaponry in the firing range, you can customize loadouts, you can check out what missions are available, and as previously mentioned, you can also conduct research. Now, the ability to do the research itself is governed by a few specific attributes. The easiest one, I guess, to explain is budget. If you've got enough money, you can pay for that particular bit of research. Easy. Tech level, however, is where things get a bit more involved. You need a high enough tech level to do certain bits of research, and to increase the tech level, I believe you need to rescue scientists. Those can be found in various levels, and thankfully, if you manage to miss them on one passive level, I believe you can go back and hoover them up later on. So all is not lost if you don't personally feel like scouring the heck out of a level on your first pass. But if you do go back again, apparently everything does respawn. But all of this research basically opens up your options. You can get yourself additional ammo types, you can get yourself weapons that you can add to your custom loadout if you want to give yourself a bit of an advantage at the start of a level. Further research down the line will open up more research opportunities. So you're doing research so you can do more researchception if you will. And then there's the subject of the missions themselves. So the last mission I completed here involved a brief little jaunt into hell by way of Ganymede. Lovely place, would recommend. May have inadvertently triggered some sort of supernatural apocalypse, but it's no biggie. It's nothing you need to worry about right now. The point is, Ganymede is located somewhere within the solar system. I think somewhere around Jupiter. It's a place you can visit in this mod. It has a factory on it that you can buy. There's other places you can visit, like Io, and Mars, and the Moon, and Earth. Earth has enough things going on. As you progress through, more missions open up to you. These are on various places throughout the globe, and you can actually drill down deeper into this map to reveal even further available missions, such as the entirety of the United States, I believe, which also has factories, and air bases, which you can supply with the factories, which will then drop supplies into mission areas, provided they're close enough to give you a little bit of an edge. And oh god, my brain... Jesus Christ. Yep, we're still playing the same mod. New character. This is Merlin. He's melee focused. He has axes, he has swords, he has the holy hand grenades of Antioch, he has throwing daggers, he's even got a goddamn mop. It's a mop. You can kill enemies with a mop. This character is called Rusty Nails. His sprite looks suspiciously similar to Caleb from Blood. He sleeps in a coffin at HQ. His character mission is full of cultists. Coincidence? Maybe. Also, he can talk to ghosts. This character is called Miko. He used to be an asshole. Then he died. Then he got turned into a cyborg. Now he's a cyborg asshole. He's got a lot of really cool weapons. He really does. Some real beefy shit. And he's really evil. I mean, he's pretty much the leader of his own personal techno cult. His own employees call him Master. He talks about drinking the blood of the weak. Why is he on this team? Can someone tell me why he's on this team? Are we supposed to be the good guys? I mean, this guy was killed by goddamn Duke Nukem. Oh, he has a mech suit. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. All is forgiven. His story mission lets you stomp around in a mech suit. Disregard everything. He's cool with me. This one's called Snore. It's basically Duke Nukem if he was involved in an unfortunate teleporter accident with a weasel. I really have no other words. Look at that neck. This guy's called Jeffrey. For some reason, he lives in the vents. He's surrounded by bananas, booze, livestock, and what appears to be copious amounts of pornography. This is probably the most relatable character in the entirety of AMC. and as a result, it was the character I therefore chose to see how much booze I could drink in-game before puking. As it turns out, there seems to be a particular threshold of alcohol consumption here, and once you cross it, it just turns into Puke City, so yeah. You should probably take this as a PSA to drink responsibly. Yeah, something like that. I kind of feel bad that I'm paying lip service to some of these characters and some of the attributes of this mod, but then I realize if I did a deep dive on all of this, I would be here for hours. I was here for hours. Getting through episode 1 took me over 6 hours. There was so much stuff to do, so much stuff to see, and almost every individual mission that you will play through here in AMC is easily worthy of being held up as its own unique standalone experience. You could pluck these out, you could present it to me independent of AMC, and I'd go, damn, that's a pretty neat level. There's some pretty neat gameplay mechanics in there. This is some real interesting stuff. And then you realize that's replicated multiple times across AMC in a myriad number of ways, and the mind just refuses to understand the scope and scale and ambition of what is going on here with AMC. But you know what really gets me about this? It's a simple fact. The fact that this is just episode 1. The fact that during the course of this, I've been from Earth to Ganymede to Hell and back again. I have taken out sinister cults in the backwaters of America. I have fought in some kind of Russian Revolution where you can drive a goddamn tank. And I'm pretty sure at some point I put paid to nefarious witch-based plans to resurrect a demon god of fire and death. I'm pretty sure that happened. If I'm gonna be honest, at this point, everything is mushing together into some glorious clusterfuck of a memory, and I really wouldn't have it any other way, because, in my opinion, there is nothing out there quite like this mod. I think I hit the nail on the head when I described this as a glorious clusterfuck, because you only have to look at the footage I've got assembled here to see just how many disparate elements form the component parts of AMC. You've got elements from Blood, elements from Doom, from Quake, from Hexen, from Duke 3D, elements from God knows where else, and against all odds, somehow, they managed to coexist. And I think it's testament to the framework that AMC is built upon that this makes any kind of sense whatsoever. It's also testament to the dedication and passion of the creators behind this, because this mod has been gestating for a very long time, and it's still not done yet. It's still actively being developed. It's 3 episodes deep, and it's slated to run all the way up to episode 5. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine how crazy things are gonna get. I mean, I've got a little inkling. I've got a slight inkling, because I did manage to dip my toes into the start of episode 2, and what I found there terrified me. So I was told that the scope of AMC opens up to a ridiculous degree beyond episode 1, and I was figuring, yeah, sure, you've got all these planets in the solar system, I could see you filling these out, and then this happened. Episode 2 lets you zoom out even further than the solar system, giving you access to the local galactic cluster and 2 other visitable solar systems, each containing explorable planets, which I no doubt assume will be filled with missions at some point as I progress further through episode 2, and I literally can't even. I literally can't even. It's ridiculous, guys. I'm going to be spending an extremely long time getting through the rest of this, aren't I? Oh god, I forgot to mention the side missions. Alright, so get this. You don't only have the main story missions to play through here. You also have the opportunity to dig up EDF missions. If you go to the moon and talk to a lady that works at the moon base, she will enable EDF missions on your map. And if you enable the toggle for the filter, you will see them pop up everywhere. They're on the moon. They're in the solar system. They're between stars on the galaxy map. They're in entirely other solar systems. Not this one for some reason, but I'm pretty sure they're in the other one. Yes, they are. Good. As you can imagine, Earth gets pretty busy with these side missions as well, but thankfully EDF missions are non-essential. You don't have to tackle them. They're not intrinsically tied up with the overarching story of the AMC TC. And yeah, you can tackle them at your own leisure. I'm not entirely sure whether they'll grant you extra bonuses on completion, though. That's something I might have to look into in future. But if you somehow think that AMC is a little light on the content and you're itching for a few more missions to dive into, well, there you go. You're welcome. Good luck. Have fun. So, on the basis of what I've experienced here through Episode 1 and the brief snifter of Episode 2 that I've managed to play, would I recommend the AMC TC? Hell yes! Unequivocally yes! This shit is bananas! It is an absolute unit of a mod. I am absolutely in awe of the size of this lad. You should have downloaded this yesterday. If you're remotely interested in Duke 3D mods, this needs to be right near the top of your list, because even with episode 1 under my belt, I am hungry for more. I have been awestruck consistently throughout the course of this, finding new and interesting things wherever I look, and I couldn't be happier with this mod. I mean, it's not perfect, don't get me wrong. Some people will no doubt find a little bit of issue with the voice acting, but that's actively being worked on. There's bugs and glitches here and there, but in the grand scale of things, those issues are very, very small potatoes when contrasted against the whole just gargantuan thing that AMC is attempting to pull off here. It's got ridiculously strong level design within its story missions. It constantly changes up what you're experiencing, even within those missions themselves. And just friggin' play it. You need to play it. Go play it. Oh yeah, I should probably tell you where to go look. Links in the description if you're interested. And if you're not, get out of my goddamn channel. Actually, it's fine. You can stay. I'm still judging you for it, though. At the very least, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it was illuminating. I'd hate to leave you more confused on AMC than when you first started. And yeah, I'm hoping to revisit this at some point in the future when I finally have episode 2 and 3 under my belt. So be sure to keep your eyes peeled for that one. While I'm at it, I'd like to give a great big thank you to my wonderful patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so very much for supporting the channel and for helping to make content like this possible. If you're interested in lending a hand yourself, maybe you'd like to see your name in the credits, maybe you'd like to gain early access to my videos before anyone else, if that's the case, you'll find the link to my Patreon page in the description below. In any case, this has been Mr. Icarus. Thank you very much for watching. Icarus out.